for that. We have a few minutes left for questions. Is there any questions?
What do you do to keep deer out of the garden?
The question is asked, what do you do to keep deer out of the garden? There's something called a deer fence. You can buy, it's black. It looks like plastic. You order it online. I don't think you can get it here locally. And I ordered, I think it's 300 or 600 foot runs of it. And I use that. What happens is the deer will go up to this stuff and they hit it with their nose. They can't see it, and so they won't try to jump it because they don't know what it is. And that stuff does work. I was gardening one year and I had that stuff. I also use, I didn't use it last year, but I have these things you stick in the ground that puts out a sound that animals don't like. And I had those in conjunction with that deer fence. And one year in Oregon, about 3 years ago, I was working in my garden, and some deers, they were walking between my fences. I had 2 garden areas, and they were walking between the fences into the woods, and their ears were going just like this. So they didn't bother my garden at all. I know that stuff works. Yeah, I like using electricity too. There's a company called Premier One. You can get, my favorite way of running an electric fence is using something that's powered with a boat battery. I love those because I can put it out in a field somewhere and I know it's going to last for 7 to 10 days, the charge, and it's going to give them a good hot 8,000 volt charge, which is about, it's about the entry level, what you want for a bear, by the way. So it will keep all the raccoons and the critters out.
Do you have a hoop house? Is that what you're...
I have a greenhouse. I heat my greenhouse in the winter, and I am growing right now in it everything you can think of. Oh, about overwintering peppers. I mentioned a little bit about that. If you guys at all can try that, you will find that your production of a pepper plant, not only will it grow the size of a tree if you take good care of it and put it in a big enough pot, but it will quadruple the amount of peppers. You can fill a whole 5-gallon bucket of the peppers that thing will produce. Try it out. Yes? I'll give that to you after. Yes?
Is there any difference between buying the same type of seed, for instance, candy corn, from one of these catalog companies versus buying it here locally? Because locally here at Valley Ag, it's a whale of a lot cheaper to buy that particular product than from a seed catalog.
Yeah, I do try to buy local when I can. I'll give you a name of a good store called Nelon's Feed, N-E-L-O-N. They're in Hendersonville. You know where the train station is? If you go under that bridge behind the train station, right to the right, they're right there. They sell, man, they sell some good stuff back in there. They have peaches and cream corn in little brown bags. I buy those. And they, yeah, I do believe, when I can buy locally, I will. Yes?
How do you overwinter plants? How do you do that?
You can do it if you have a south-facing window. I envy you guys. Do you have a south-facing window in your house? The question is, how do you overwinter plants? Another thing is, on a pepper plant, which is the most thing you want to overwinter, because a pepper plant is a perennial. Did you know that? And so what you want to do is you just chop that thing off until it's about this high. You don't even care if it looks like a plant. You just want to get it through the winter. So you put it in a south-facing window. Now, I gave you my preferred method is to let 2 leaf nodes and then cut it. That way I know I got 4 good strong branches for a low center of gravity going. That's my method. But you can do it any which way. You can just, but you mainly, you can just chop it off like a haircut. Remember how when you were a kid they put a bowl on your head? Well, not all of you, but you just chop the plant off at maybe that high. It's not rocket science. Plants are very forgiving. Yeah, you don't have to water as much, but yes, you want to water it maybe once every 7 to 10 days. Don't let it completely dry out, but don't overwater it. My problem is I always tend to overwater things. Any other questions? Yes?
Where do you get the Brix meter?
Where do I get the Brix meter? I bought that online from Amazon.com. I did a little research. I didn't want the cheapest one. The cheapest, they started about $35. I wanted to spend about $100 and get quality, but I did not want to spend $300. I didn't really have that much because I'm not a wine grower. You get the expensive ones if you're doing grapes. So you can find them. Do you have a computer? Okay, go on Amazon.com or just Google Brix, B-R-I-X. And those things are wonderful. I wouldn't garden without it. Yes?
What's your average reading on your produce with Brix, and what's the testing for?
Tell me. Come again. I can't hear you that well.
The average reading on when you test, say, your tomatoes that you're growing, what's the average reading?
The average reading that you should get is excellent. That's average. You're shooting for more than excellent. You don't want excellent. You want 2 degrees over that.
So you're personally getting 12 or above?
I will, yes, this year. Yeah. So,
Testing for, is it minerals, is it phytochemicals,
it basically tests the nutrient levels in the plant, sugars.
micro, macro?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'd like to thank you all for coming. That's the end. Have a great day.